That lasted for 2 seconds.
Well, Ruski is a little distracted because we have bully grips. Did you guys see this? It's a little bit backwards for you. Did you see? What do I have? I have the large.
I have the medium. This is the
Small.
small.
So you guys, we just got these in. They are flying out the door because, and I got a small stick to just demo, but all you do is you put your bully, see, it's because my bully stick is not the right size. You put your bully stick into the bully grip, and this prevents the furry guys from choking on that last chunk of bully stick. So if I actually got the right size one, I didn't get any of us the right size.
It works.
I just wanted to show you guys. So normally what you do to actually insert your bully is you just actually wet the bully, twist in the bully. If you've got the right size, it doesn't come out, and it doesn't go in quite as easy as the way I made it look. I'm not that strong. Oh, no, I can't get it out. There we go. And then when your furry guy has chewed down, and so now you just have a little chunk of bully inside the bully grip, again, just wet it, and then you can take a screw and you can push the bully right through, or you could possibly even do it with another bully. Either way, this is just going to prevent the hounds from chomping down and swallowing the tiny little piece. So we wanted to show you guys that before we got into our live today. And that's why little Miss Ruski was a little, we all were holding bully sticks. So Rue was like, chop, chop, hand over the treats. But we did not. We did not. So you guys, again, as always, we've got you live on Facebook. We've got you live on TikTok. So if you see us bouncing back and forth, that's what's happening. It's a windy Friday here in Regina, but at least the rain has stopped for a little while because we're getting rain all week long. What else do we have going on? We've got our our virtual dog walking challenge began June 1st, so we are a week into it. All the furry guys are out there getting their walks, 30 minutes for 30 days. If you are on Generation Pet Parents group, that's where we hold our virtual dog walk. And we've got a party planned for the end of June for all of our next generation pet parent groups, or all of our next generation pet parents. I'm just rambling now because we are going to talk today about allergies, skin issues, digestive issues, and what you can do if you have a furry guy who possibly has allergies, skin issues, or digestive issues. This is something that I actually did with Zaner last summer when he was having his tummy troubles, and it didn't matter what we do, couldn't fix it. Off to the vet numerous times, $1,500 in vet bills, and everything kept coming back good, which I was thankful for, but at the same time I knew diarrhea every day and throwing up 3 to 4 times a week, not normal, so there was something going on. Do you guys have anything to add before we jump into this?
No, I think so. No. Yeah, let's go straight in.
They will jump in as they see fit, I guess. So you guys, what we want to talk to about today is an FMT. I wish I could put little text messages up on top of my head like we do on our videos. An FMT, a fecal microbiome transplant. This is going to sound icky, but it works. What an FMT consists of is essentially it's not us actually, there's only one company that I know of that does this. They're in California. They are now called Doggy Biome. They used to be called Animal Biome, but now they are called Doggy Biome. And so what they do is they actually source the poop of healthy dogs or cats. They freeze dry it, they put it into a pill capsule type form. It has no taste, it has no scent, and we basically give the furry guy who's having allergies, skin issues, or digestive issues, we give them this FMT, fecal microbiome transplant. What we're doing is we're resetting the gut. When we see these issues like allergies or skin issues or digestive issues, it can absolutely be an imbalance of the gut. The gut is off balance. So the FMT rebalances the gut. So, anything to add yet?
You got it so
You're
far.
going.
You're on a roll.
You're on a roll.
You're just gonna let me talk, you
You
guys.
just know all the information. You're just spilling it all.
That's what I do. So when Zaner was having his tummy troubles, all of the things that we did with the vet, one of the things that we did was a stool sample. And I was working with my vet on them, and I had said I wanted to do an FMT, and she was fully supportive of that. But she also kind of wanted to do the tests now to rule out other things. We wanted to make sure that there wasn't any cynical or sinister lurking issues. So in the meantime, we did do a stool sample with my vet, and she said, like, our stool sample test results are nowhere near as in-depth as Doggy Biome. And so the stool sample from my vet came back that everything was cool. There was no bacteria, there was no infection, there was no nothing. When I sent my stool sample away to Doggy Biome, Zaner's report came back that he was moderately to severely imbalanced, his gut. And they literally break down every bacteria that is in his little belly, and they tell me where he's high and where he's low. So what they recommended for his FMT was that he do 2 pills per day for 30 days. And so that's what we did. And you guys, when I say that they're scentless and they're tasteless, he didn't even know. I threw them in the food, he gobbled it up. And each week I could see definite progress. He was getting better. The tummy troubles were starting to go away. He definitely wasn't throwing up as often, and the diarrhea was starting to go away. Each week there was improvement. After our 30 days, I do another stool sample that I send back to Doggy Biome, and they run another in-depth test to identify now where is the bacteria levels in his little belly. So you do your 30 days of pills, and then 2 weeks later you do your stool sample again, which I did, send it back, and his test results came back that he was balanced. So that was not a chronic digestive issue, but FMTs can help with chronic problems. Chronic skin issues, chronic allergies, chronic digestive issues. FMTs are something, it's nobody is hurt in the process of getting the poop, freeze drying the poop, and when our little guys eat the pills, when our little guys eat the pills, they don't taste it, it just starts to reset the gut. So FMTs can help if you've got a little furry guy that has major allergies, major digestive upset, constant tummy troubles, can't keep things down, can't keep things in, doesn't matter what you seem to use, you can't keep it in, you can't keep it down, all the things. And even skin disorders, right? We've got parts of our coat that are falling out, or we've got rashes, or we've got hives. Again, doesn't seem to matter what we do with regards to diet or anything, we just can't fix these problems. An FMT can absolutely help, because again, what we see on the outside is typically symptoms of an unbalanced gut. So when we rebalance the gut with an FMT, we can fix a lot of these problems. I'm wondering if anybody out there has any experience with an FMT. Have you done this with your little guys? This is something that we recommend a lot in store when folks come in and they've said, like, I've tried everything. I've tried every type of food. I've tried every type of probiotic, prebiotic, antibiotic. I've tried all of the botics, and nothing seems to work. FMTs is what we recommend. We are working with Doggy Biome. Catherine says, no, she hasn't. That's good. And she says, hi, girls. Hello, Catherine. Hello, Brianna. I've been neglecting my duties here. Hello, April, Paulette, Lisa. And
all the TikTokers.
All the TikTokers, yes. Paige is asking, what is FMT? So if you're just joining us, an FMT is a fecal microbiome transplant. This is something that we can do when we have such an imbalanced gut, and we don't know that until we actually do the stool sample. But we can see those external symptoms. We can see hair loss, we can see allergies, we can see digestive upset. And it feels like you have tried everything and nothing works. And FMT can be the way that we can fix these problems. We don't want our little guys living in discomfort, regardless of whether it's tummy troubles or skin issues or allergies. So an FMT can be something that you would absolutely look at. And we recommend this regularly. And Paige says, hello. So you went through here, Olivia?
They're just like regular questions.
Oh, okay. Love you guys. Lily's Kitchen, good brand. I've never heard of Lily's Kitchen, so I can't tell. Is Wellness a good food brand for Chihuahua with skin allergies? So any type of allergies, we are better off to actually reduce the amount of carbs as much as possible, because we all know,
I'll grab it.
when we're feeding a dry diet, we cannot get away from the carbs. We need starch in order to hold the pellets in its little pieces. There we go. Traditional kibble, this is 3 cups of traditional kibble. This is 2 cups of sugar. In traditional kibble, we're looking at about 50 to 70% carbs. We need the starch to hold the pellets in its shape. That starch breaks into carbs, and our dogs and cats have no biological requirement for carbs, so when they eat carbs, it turns to sugar. That's how their bodies metabolize carbs. If we have allergies or skin sensitivities or anything like that, when we can reduce carbs, we can see a big improvement, because carbs, sugar, causes a lot of problems. Sugar is what feeds disease. Sugar can absolutely increase inflammation, which can lead to skin issues. So, Wellness, there are better choices out there. I don't remember what it is, but they do use some controversial ingredients in Wellness. That's that purple, with the sun purple bag. Yeah. So a biologically appropriate diet would be a better choice, which means a fresh, raw diet, complete and balanced. But even if not, we want to look for clean ingredients in a protein-rich, nutrient-dense, low-carb, dry food, if we're going to feed dry.
Did we talk about what allergies do to the stomach that would warrant an FMT?
No, Ella, that will be your jump in.
Thinking of it. Okay, so the reason why you might be confused, of course, digestive issues would be a great candidate for an FMT, but we also said skin issues and allergies, which many people might be wondering, how is that related to the gut? So lots of allergies or sensitivities that are seen in dogs actually do start in the gut. So when that gut is compromised, there's this little inner lining. That is how they absorb all their nutrients. When that starts to break down, they no longer can absorb their nutrients, and oftentimes that is displayed as a sensitivity or an allergy or a skin problem, but it's all because they have high levels of nasty bacteria in their gut and low levels of beneficial bacteria. So oftentimes when we bring that gut back to a healthy place, they're able to digest their food better. They're not showing those hot spots or anything that's a typical itchy skin problem of a sensitivity, because their gut is now fixed. A true allergy in a dog or a cat, even with everything all intact, you've done FMTs, everything is balanced, they would still show symptoms of having skin problems and allergies. That would be a true allergy, but many dogs just have sensitivities, and that is because of the imbalance in the gut. Those can be fixed. So honestly, 30 days of a pill to fix your dog's what you believe are allergies is so beneficial to them, and then you just keep it up with good beneficial bacteria like pre and probiotics. So that's why it might seem weird to start in the gut for something that is displaying on the skin, but that's definitely where you do need to start, is at the root cause. Everything else, you're just covering up the symptoms, you're not fixing anything. So
That's 100%, and that's, so what Ella, their health, just like ours, starts in their gut. So if we can get and keep the gut healthy, we can get and keep the animal healthy. What Ella was talking about, that thin line in their gut that starts to break down, that's called leaky gut. And you may have heard of that. Leaky gut, essentially, there are tiny, tiny, tiny little holes in the lining of their gut that is there by design. They need those holes. Leaky gut happens when those holes get too big, and now when they eat their food, the food that they're eating doesn't actually get absorbed by the body, but it goes out these holes. The body then attacks that food as though it's a pathogen in the body. So bone broth is another way that we can combat leaky gut, because the collagen in the bone broth can start to heal and shrink those holes. Dysbiosis is another word that you may have heard, which is the clinical term for leaky gut. What does that say?
I have no idea. That was too far.
Oh, okay. Did it say lost connection?
Did it say lost connection?
I don't know what it said. I think we can still see the peeps. Okay.
Another thing bone broth can help with is detoxing the liver. So if you have any cups with any tear stains, that is because of liver toxins, so that will help as well. Obviously, bones, joints help build up that cartilage a little bit more. But yeah, just an overall really good supplement.
Crunchy cornichons. I joined at the wrong time. FMT, we answered that. Lily's Kitchen, we don't know. We're not familiar with that. And now I just bumped all the questions. Oh boy. Whoops, sorry you guys. Hang on. Okay. My German Shepherd has bad diarrhea, gas, changed food 3 times. What could it be? It could be an imbalanced gut. Now, the other thing that we can try with a gassy little furry guy is goat's milk. Goat's milk is an amazing natural option that can help with a variety of things. It is a natural probiotic. It is a natural tummy tamer. Goat's milk can help with GERD, which is when we've got stomach acid build up in the tummy and it comes out like a little burp. Sometimes it can come out as gas. Goat's milk can help with diabetes. It can help with asthma. Goat's milk is a fantastic place to start. It can also help with diarrhea because it is that natural tummy tamer and it is a natural probiotic. So sometimes when we're seeing diarrhea, it could be that we are lacking in probiotics. So we're going to go back to this every single time. The gut is where their health is. It starts there and it finishes there. So when we start to see symptoms on the outside, it is usually an imbalance of the gut, almost always. Pardon me.
Maria said that Milo's having an allergy right now and he's got rashes on his neck. Poor Milo. I mean, he's not little, but
well, yes,
little in our hearts.
Yeah, he's big boy Milo. And maybe it's a bit seasonal. Mr. Milo, poor guy, he can't eat beef, he can't eat chicken, he can't eat all of these things. So he's like,
he eats pork and
lamb and kangaroo.
Yes.
Yeah. So, if we think that it is allergies, like seasonal allergies, you guys have heard us talk about bee pollen before. Bee pollen is an amazing way that we can try to combat little allergies. Spirulina is another natural option that we can incorporate into the diet to try to combat. Here we go. Another way that we can try to combat allergies.
Bovine colostrum.
Ella's most favoritist, bovine colostrum.
Yeah.
Ella, you talk about your bovine.
I like bovine colostrum. It's a really good supplement if your dog has any sort of seasonal allergies or they have really bad flare-ups. Essentially, colostrum is the first milk that a mother would give her child of any mammal. It is full of so many antibodies, immune boosting properties, like it is amazing for that. You have to feed it, of course, in order to get the benefits of it. But you can also, if your dog has like hot spots or rashes or flares up, you can mix it with some Manuka honey or coconut oil, and you can apply it topically to wherever those spots are. Same with wounds. If your dog has wounds, of course, get them checked by a vet first. But if they have wounds, this plus Manuka honey is an amazing wound healer as well. So we love bovine colostrum. I think everyone should have it on hand because it is, really good supplement.
And you don't need lots at all. Like this container is so tiny.
But that would last a 50-pound dog likely 2-3 months.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
If they're getting it every day.
If they're getting it every day, yeah.
And Ella just brought up a good point too. Manuka honey, you guys, you know we love our Manuka honey. We did a little bit more research. And this was the brand that we were carrying, but we did a little bit more research. And Manuka Honey has a rating system called a UMF. Yeah, UMF. We, in order to have any therapeutic benefits associated with the Manuka Honey, it has to have a 10 plus UMF rating. So the new Manuka Honey that we have on order that shall be here very quickly is a 10 plus UMF. This one, though it is made specifically for dogs, or so they say, does not list the UMF. We know, because we've been using it, that we have seen that it has therapeutic benefits associated with it, but we want to know that for sure, so that when we set you up with Manuka Honey, you absolutely are getting the therapeutic healing properties that it has.
And even too, the higher that you go in the UMF, it will get more costly, but it's just because the benefits in it are amazing, like crazy benefits.
So there was UMFs that had, or Manuka Honey that had a UMF like over, was it 25?
25 or 26. Yeah.
Something like that, but they go for like $200 a bottle for no bigger than this. And so when we know that at least that 10 plus has those therapeutic benefits, this is when Zaner has a little cough or a little tickle in his throat, or sometimes just because he likes honey. But I do this and I mix it with slippery elm, and I just kind of mix that up on a spoon and I give it to him, and last year, kennel cough was running rampant in Regina, so much so that folks who were experiencing kennel cough symptoms at home and contacting their vet, the vet was saying, just let your dog stay home and rest, because there's nothing we can do. A kennel cough for them is like a cold, right? A lot of vets want you to vaccinate for Bordetella, which is kennel cough, but that would be like us vaccinating for a cold. You could still get a cold even if you vaccinated. So I know that a lot of daycares and such will not let the pups in if they're not vaccinated for Bordetella. This is why Zaner doesn't go to daycare, because until the daycare opens up that will allow him in with his titer tests versus vaccines, then he doesn't go to daycare. But we have lots of furry guys coming in here who probably do go to daycare, and that may be where Zaner caught his kennel cough from. Yeah. But last year I treated it with Manuka Honey and slippery elm. Okay. And how do I get my baby the FMT? Excellent question,
We're not sponsored,
Paige.
but we just love them.
Right? I think I have a mosquito bite. Anyways, doggy biome. If you just punch it into Google, doggy biome, B-I-O-M-E, you can go on their website, you can order what you need. What I recommend, order the 2-stool test kit, because you're going to test to send in your first sample, and the test kit comes with everything, you guys. We are getting them in store, we just don't have them yet. But the test kit comes with everything. It comes with the little gloves that you wear, it comes with the little solution that you put your stool sample in, it comes with the little like popsicle sticky thing that you would, or I guess it's more like a Q-tip that you take the sample with, you put it in. It even like gives you everything to ship it back to them with the labels and everything. So you literally just have to collect your stool sample and then take it to the post office. And that was a funny conversation, you guys, but that's a story for another time about when I took my first sample to the post office. Anyway, so then you send that back to Doggy Biome, and it takes them 10 to 14 days. They run their test. They send you a detailed report, detailed, like every single thing that you ever wanted to know about what's going on in there. And they give you a recommendation as to whether or not you should be doing 1 pill a day for 30 days or 2 pills a day for 30 days. Then you retest. That's why I'm saying get the 2-test kit. You retest 2 weeks after you've completed your FMT, and you'll get your results back again, where they will either say you're good, you're balanced, or maybe you need to do some maintenance, but they let you know all of that. First Mate. First Mate is a meal-based kibble. Kibble is the most processed food that we can feed them, and meal is the most processed ingredient in kibble. So I do not like to see a meal-based kibble, and that means that meal is the first ingredient. Meal, you guys, this is my analogy for it. Think of a steak or think of protein powder. Protein powder is your meal. This meal, this protein powder is never going to be better than the original source that it came from. We want to see that the first ingredient in your food is a named protein, not a meal. So that's my issue with First Mate.
Bovine colostrum.
Oh.
Jody said, I just bought this last week. It seems to be working for Audie's itchy face. So thankful.
Awesome.
Yes. Go team. Very passionate about it.
Ella loves her bovine.
I do.
I can't even say it right.
Bovine.
BC. I just call it BC, guys.
BC.
What do you think about Halo Elevate? I have never heard of that. So I can't give you an opinion. I love your content so much. Thank you. We love you. Is all kibble high in carbs like carnivore? So sorry, that was, is all kibble high in carbs, question mark, like carnivore, question mark. So carnivore is actually quite low in carbs in comparison to traditional foods. This is why we love open farm and carnivore. Where traditional kibble comes in at 50 to 70% carbs, open farm and carnivore come in at about 38% carbs. So significantly lower than traditional kibble, a heck of a lot higher than if our furry guys were out there foraging for their own food. And left to their own devices, they would probably consume about 4 to 6% carbs daily. That would be from the stomach contents of their prey, because they're usually going after the grass eaters, the herbivores, as little carnivores. But for a kibble to come in under like 38% or less, that's awesome for carbs. What is a good brand for allergy? A biological. We're back. We lost connection. A biologically appropriate diet is usually the best thing that we can do for allergies because we're getting all of those carbs out of there.
You're great. You're doing good.
Stop it. This is not the Carly
You
Show.
haven't been here for 2 weeks on the live or something like that. So
Yeah.
Honest Kitchen. Honest Kitchen is one of our favorites. It is in store. What we love about Honest Kitchen is that that it is one of the very few foods that is actually certified human grade. So they apply to actually be certified human grade. Not a lot of pet food manufacturers can say that. So where most pet food manufacturers is made in some facility plant, Honest Kitchen, made in a kitchen. Packaged everything, transported everything, just like human food for us. So the same way that our grocery stores go and collect produce and proteins for us to eat out of the grocery stores, the same way that Honest Kitchen has to do it. Catherine is asking if the FMT, do they send the pills? And they do. Yeah, you do everything through Doggy Biome. So you order your test and they will recommend which pills, how many you need for how long, and then they will send you that.
we have even tried the Honest Kitchen treats.
Oh yeah.
They're not terrible.
Yeah.
Not terrible. I mean, they're not going to be sweet, but they're not the worst thing in the world.
We try a lot of our products because we want to make sure that if the zombie apocalypse comes, no, I'm kidding you guys. We want to make sure that, I mean, if we wouldn't eat it, why would we be feeding it to them? So we try a lot of our treats and products. I don't know. My life froze when you were explaining how it helps allergies. I don't know if that was the bovine colostrum, the bee pollen, or the FMT. But if chew Bakatako, if you're still here, let us know. Mine froze too, me too. Mine keeps freezing. Darn it. Something must be going on today. The wind?
It might be the wind, honestly.
We haven't had a big wind in a while, so.
It's working now. An open farm food you'd recommend for a cat that gets crystals. So, open farm kibble for kitties also comes in low carb, protein high, nutrient dense, low carb. That's what we look for in a kibble. My brother's cat used to get crystals, and of course he was on a prescription food until I opened the store. That's when he switched to open farm. We want to always, always, always make sure kitties are getting wet food every day. What my brother also did was he incorporated freeze-dried raw with some bone broth or goat's milk. So if we've got a kitty that's prone to crystals, and typically this happens with male cats, hydration is key. That doesn't mean that the females don't get to drink. We want them to drink too. But hydration is key with our kitties. Wet food every day or some sort of a wet source of food, whether that's a raw food on top, a rehydrated freeze-dried, a wet food, a bone broth, a goat's milk. Kibble only has 10% moisture, so we never, ever, ever want to feed kitties just kibble. We have to get that wet food in. So it's not a treat, you guys, it's an everyday requirement so that we can keep their bodies fully hydrated, because typically crystals are caused by a lack of hydration, which so many kitties are chronically dehydrated, and high carbs. So we want to find a low carb food, and we want to make sure they're feeding lots of wet. You guys, Ella wants to do like the kitty cat extravaganza. So you let us know in the comments if you want a kitty cat extravaganza, all about kitty nutrition.
All about cat
All the
nutrition.
things.
Yeah. Goat's milk, got it. Thank you. Perfect. My Frenchie bulldog is allergic. Beef, lamb, chicken. I don't found best food for him. So if you're looking at a dry diet, if you want to stick with a dry diet, carnivore is fantastic for furry guys with allergies. The beautiful thing for you is if the allergies are beef, lamb, and chicken,
We have venison and fish.
goat, venison, fish, and duck.
Yeah.
So there'd be 4 different proteins that your little furry guy could eat, and a lot of furry guys that have allergies do very, very well on carnivore. It is a clean source. It is not a kibble. It is actually an air-baked whole food nugget. And it's whole food, meaning that we get all of the nutrition from the food, which also makes it a raw alternative. So if you are a raw feeder, but you're going camping for the week and you barely have enough room for your own meat in the freezer, you can take a bag of carnivore for the furry guy while they're camping. Can FMTs cure food allergies? Yes. Like, FMTs are amazing at curing a variety of things. And like I said, what I saw with Zaner is each week as we went through our 30 days, he improved. And 2 weeks later, when I sent in his second sample, I then started including the carnivore fluorophore into his diet. And in 2 days, I had a completely different dog on my hands, you guys. Bright, full of energy, couldn't keep up to him on our walks, where for weeks prior to that, my poor little boy was just dragging his butt on the floor, like not on the floor, on his walks. He was like, oh, but he wasn't feeling good. So, yeah. Just joined. What is the best for gut health for allergies, UK?
FMT.
FMT, biologically appropriate diet, or something very clean like a carnivore. And if you're in the UK, I don't know if carnivore is in the UK, but you should be able to find complete and balanced raw diets. If you're in the UK and you don't follow him already, follow Dogs First, Dr. Connor Brady, who wrote the book Feeding Dogs. He shares tons of great information. He will even help you design a meal plan. What are those paws to the right? Like on our wall?
They're stickers. They're decoration.
They go all around the whole store if that's
They're
what
these
you meant.
paws. They're these paws.
Oh,
Yeah.
those ones.
Oh.
These are the Pet House car air fresheners. They're so good. So we carry the Pet House line. They are pet safe candles, wax melts, room sprays, car air fresheners. Because your normal, should I say the brand? Bath and Body Works are not pet safe. So we want to make sure we're using 100% soy candles if we're going to be doing that, and natural fragrances like so. Any other artificially scented things can be very harmful for our dogs and especially for cats. So that's why we carry the pet safe alternatives. Jason says the candles are awesome, and they are. They're odor eliminating. They're not too strong, but they smell so good.
They do. And you guys, we just put in an order for our new summer fragrances. So we've got new summer fragrances coming in the candles, in the car fresheners, and I ordered some other stuff. I don't remember. I go crazy on their site all the time.
Probably the wax melts as well.
Maybe. Thoughts on Signature?
Meh.
Yeah.
Meh.
I think there's better. I think there's better than Signature. My Aussie is on a Royal Canin I can never say the word, hydrolyzed protein kibble. How to start them on a better food.
Slowly.
Yep. So what we normally recommend is a 7-day transition to move them to a better food. We have little cards that we hand out in store. This is going to be backwards for you guys, but you'll get the gist of it. Day 1 and day 2, we're going to do 3/4 of our old food and 1/4 of the new food. We are going to watch both front end and back end, and we are going to make sure that there is no bad news. If there is any bad news, we are going to stay on that step until it resolves. The reason that we're doing this transition is because if we've been feeding a very high carb, low protein food, and now we're feeding a high protein, low carb food, we need to give the tummy time to adjust how much acid it produces. As a natural born carnivore, our dogs and cats have very acidic tummies. When we are feeding a low protein food, their stomach will automatically adjust the amount of acid that it's producing to process that meal. So we need to give the tummy time to figure out how much acid do I need to produce in order to process a more protein-rich diet. So day 1 and day 2, 3/4 of the old food, 1/4 of the new food. No bad news out the front end or the back end. Move to day 3 and 4, which is half and half. Half old, half new. Checking for no bad news. No bad news, we're gonna move to day 5 and 6, which is 3/4 new food, 1/4 the old food. And if we're all good after day 6, we move right to day 7, which is new food. You can do this as slowly as you want. It's my preference that we do try to do it in the 7 days if we can, just to get them on a better food, because we start to see such a huge improvement in everything when we're eating right. If you guys think about it, if you ate nothing but McDonald's for the next month, you would not feel your best. I can guarantee you that. But if after month 2, you started eating less McDonald's and more healthy, good for you food, you would start to feel better, right? So the sooner we can get on a better diet, the sooner we feel better. And that applies to the furries too.
Really good option for your Aussie that is currently on the hydrolyzed soy protein. Lots of dogs that have been on that have done a really nice transition onto carnivore just because it is so easily digested. So that is a really good place to start. Then you can also go for more your exotic proteins like your goat, like your venison. Those will help that ease that transition. So that's a really good one to switch on to.
Well, I thought you were going to ask the questions there. Snooter pup. Oh, crap. How long are you guys live? I have so many questions. Well,
as long as you need us to be.
Well, sometimes we go live for an hour. Sometimes we just talk until the talking is done.
Yeah.
Ask your questions. My dog had a couple fractured incisors removed. Is Raw still safe with his sutures? Yeah, well, you want to be careful with any food if we have like open sores in the mouth. But softer is usually better when we're dealing with like sore gums or open cuts in the mouth. So raw is going to be softer than any kibble that you're going to feed. So you're okay. If you're thinking bacteria,
depends what the sutures look like. Like if they're little holes in there, like if they're quite deep crevices, any sort of food could get stuck in there, whether it's raw or not. And you might want to talk to your vet about getting a syringe to flush them out, just because if they're really deep. But if they're not,
yeah,
shouldn't be a problem.
I'm guessing that it would be
Incisors
if we had
are
incisors,
big.
yeah, and then it would have to be stitched up.
Yeah.
Poor guy. I hate the dentist, you guys. Hate. Hello. Carna love for cats. That is not something I've heard of either. I wonder if it's maybe not in Canada.
If it's dry food, we have What Great Is My Kibble tool on the bottom of every page on our website. It is a free PDF that you can go in, you can plunk in information about your food, and it will give you a grade on your kibble. So if it's dry food, that is a really good place to start, just because we don't know about it, so we can't personally comment, but that is a great way to work it through and help explain what we want to see, what we don't want to see.
Yeah, so good point, Ella. Wanting to try out the carnivore sprouted seeds, woohoo! Would you recommend the original or the Greens Plus one, and what's the difference?
What for? Yeah, what do they want it for?
Well, besides what they
Okay.
want it for, there's tons of reasons that it's good for. The biggest difference is in the new Greens Plus, the different veggies, right? Because our...
I'll grab it.
Okay, Olivia's going to grab. We've got the original. We finally, our distributor finally just got the Greens Plus, so that should be here next week. There is broccoli for sure in the new one, but it is a variety of different green vegetables. So the Flora 4 and the new Greens Plus, prebiotics, because these are sprouted seeds, you guys, this is a natural source of prebiotics, probiotics, and digestive enzymes. So not only does it help seed and replenish the gut, but the digestive enzymes, oh, we're out? Oh,
I'll look it up.
we're out. So Olivia's going to look it up. The digestive enzymes also help them to easier digest their food and absorb the nutrients. And it takes some of the stress when we're putting digestive enzymes into the diet. It takes some of the stress off of the organs that help us process our meals, like pancreases and livers and kidneys and all the things. They're just not going to help me at all.
They're both really good supplements. If you're wanting it more so for like a really good fiber source, you could use either of the two. If you're wanting it for, I think, pre and probiotics, I think the Flora 4 is better for that one, but I don't remember off the top of my head. There's definitely differences.
Olivia will find the details and we'll let you know. Well, they might not have. It should be on Carnivore's website.
Maybe we'll do a TikTok on it.
Oh, we will for sure. I feed raw and have fed raw from day one, so know very little about kibble. That's okay.
That's uncommon, but that's
okay.
right.
Yes. So the reason that Ella says it's uncommon is because still today, now, progress is being made, you guys. In 2017, 5 years ago, in 2017, 90% of pet parents still fed kibble. The raw, fresh food movement was low at 10%. Today, 80% of pet parents still feed kibble, and the raw, fresh movement has moved to 20%. But of that 80% that are feeding kibble, many are, they might have a kibble base, but they are starting to incorporate a variety of foods into their dish, which is exactly what we want to see if we're going to feed a dry diet.
Okay, so I have the ingredients here. So the original Flora 4 has organic sprouted barley, flax, green, and red lentil seeds. The Greens Plus has sprouted broccoli seeds, pea, sunflower, chia, and pumpkin seeds as well. So there's quite a bit of difference in the two.
So fiber, I say they're going for that. Well, it is a source of fiber either way.
Usually a grain supplement is more so for like overall health.
Immunity,
whereas-
yeah, like a smoothie. Ella is our bee pollen expert. So, yes, Ella, the question for you is, I know bee pollen is good for allergies, but what kind? Is it a preventative or a treatment?
Kind of a bit of both. It's more so better as preventative, and I always tell people that because that is how it works its best. Essentially what we're doing is we're introducing small amounts of histamines, so things that your dog would be allergic to kind of trigger a very, very small allergic reaction that you don't really notice, your dog doesn't, but your dog's cells start to go, oh, I recognize this. This is how I fight it. So when the time comes that it is environmental allergy season, their body already knows how to fight it. So it is very much a preventative. One of the things is it also helps boost immunity. So it can be used as treatment. If a dog is already showing signs of having environmental allergies, I would rather them go on a bovine colostrum, which has even more immunity boosting benefits to it. If we're ahead of the game and we can do the preventative of the bee pollen, please do. It is so amazing for them. And then for dogs with severe allergies, make sure you add in that bovine colostrum when it is allergy season to help support as well. That's more your treatment. Although bee pollen does do both, it's way better at preventative. So yeah, that's kind of the way they work. They work together. We used to give all kinds of allergy meds to our pup until we switched to raw. She doesn't have allergies at all. That's not uncommon to happen. It's amazing what happens when we change their diet to something more biologically appropriate.
And normally what we see too, when we do move to a more biologically appropriate diet, like a raw diet, and you may have seen this yourself, but when we get off those ultra-processed kibble diets and we start eating a more biologically appropriate diet, in the first week or so of being on our new diet, it looks like all the symptoms are disappearing. And then for the next 2-ish, 3 weeks, we see a little bit of a detox. And it looks like things are getting worse, but what's happening is all of those toxins and all of the ick that we didn't want in their bodies to begin with is leaving the body. So then in a month, we really see a huge improvement.
Stretching.
I don't know what they're doing, you guys. We do 50-50 freeze-dried, raw, and pre-made raw. Awesome. That's Snooter Pup. I use bee pollen for hay fever over Priton from the vet. Perfect.
That's like Epiquil. Probably.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we gotta talk about that
What's
too.
your opinion on whole prey? Oh, interesting.
Like a Frankenprey diet? Is that what we're thinking?
I think they mean like a whole prey raw diet.
Yeah, like a Frankenprey they call it, because
That's a Frankenprey?
Frankenprey is another name for whole prey, because what we're doing is we're taking a chunk of this animal and a chunk of that, right? Like they made Frankenstein.
Oh, okay, yes, there is that, but there is also
Or
whole prey,
or I
like a
just throw
whole
a rabbit
rabbit.
at Zaner and let him go to town.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whole prey, when done correctly, can be good. You're getting your fiber and your vitamins and minerals from the animal. You got to make sure you're sourcing the right prey, though. So you want to make sure that they are grass raised on a pasture, so that the meats are really, really high quality and they have the right digestive enzymes in there. I would still add in like a fluorophore to it, the fluorophore by carnivore. But yeah, whole prey is good. They're getting everything in it. So
I was part of some raw feeding groups for a while, and honestly, people would like post when they saw roadkill for somebody to go pick.
I wouldn't trust it.
I wouldn't want to do that either. And like I said, a Zaner, my 5-pounder, I'm not throwing a big rabbit that I found on the road at him.
Yeah.
The thing is, lots of times, sometimes animals who contract diseases don't think properly and they lead themselves to becoming roadkill. So that is why I would not feed roadkill. I would feed ethically sourced, pasture-raised animals. So yeah, and not a whole cow for your dog either. Like we gotta pick smaller things.
Someone said they're from Scandinavia.
Oh, very
What
cool.
time is it there?
Yeah, I wonder what time it would be.
Do you encourage offering pets different brands of food? 100%. Finky's asking, was that Finky? Finky H2O, yeah, 100%. We strongly encourage buffeting a bowl is what we call it, or leveling up your bowl. And so we, as consumers and as retailers, we never want to be married to a brand. We want to mix up our brands, we want to mix up our proteins, we want to mix up our food types, we want to mix up our supplements. Here's the first reason that makes sense to everybody. Who wants to eat the same thing every day? Nobody, including our pets. If they were left to their own devices, do you think that they would be out there to kill a chicken, kill a chicken, kill a chicken, kill a chicken every day? No, wouldn't happen. So they would eat what they kill, and they're probably going to kill whatever is easiest at the time, and it's not going to be the same. We don't want to get married to a brand as a consumer or as a retailer, because what if something ever happened to that brand? Then what? Then, as a pet parent, we're going into the store and we're saying, oh my God, this is the only food that Fluffy will eat. We don't want to be in that situation. So not only does Zaner have about 3 to 5 bags on the go at all times, he's getting different proteins, he's getting different supplements, he's getting different brands, he's getting... Variety is the key, you guys. A diverse diet is exactly what we want to provide in everything. We talked about First Mate. Do you ship to the US? Yes. And we have just set up with a new shipping company that will allow us to get our shipments to the US far quicker than through Canada Post and for a better price. So if you are in the US and you want to order, you can either call us and we can place the order for you, or you can order online and then you can indicate that you're doing a curbside pickup, and then we would just call you to process the delivery fee. So it's entirely up to you.
These two I think would go together the first.
And I have heard that before. Is the bee pollen most effective if it's local and not just from a company you can order from? Is the bee pollen only a seasonal supplement, or is it meant to be year round? So I have heard that too, that bee pollen needs to be local, but I've reached out to several manufacturers and they have assured me that it doesn't necessarily need to be local. And and then bee pollen, is it seasonal or is it meant to be year round? It's going to address allergies, but it is best if we kind of do it pre-allergy season. I'm looking at my bee pollen expert who's ignoring me. Oh.
You can use it year round for other benefits. If you're using it for seasonal allergies only, you don't have to use it year round. You would use it in the 2 months leading up to when those allergies start occurring. If you don't know when those allergies are going to start occurring, I would use it starting at the end of the season until the next upcoming season, because some dogs, it will start right as the snow starts to melt or wherever you're located. Really depends on the animal. There's amazing benefits from adding in bee pollen. It won't hurt to use it, but once again, we want that supplement rotation. So as long as you're rotating your supplements, you don't want them to build up an immunity to the supplement you're giving, then you should be good. You can answer that one.
Is there any classes or courses online to learn about dog nutrition? I don't want to be a vet, but want to.
Want to know everything about dog nutrition.
Yeah, there's lots actually. There's Dogs Naturally. They started as Dogs Naturally magazine. They are now Dogs Naturally University. They have a variety of courses that are quite good. There is also, I can't remember her name now. That's the one that I wanted to look at for us. We will figure that out.
I'm debating if I want to do my certificate or whatever you want to call it, because I'm in university right now, so the thought of doing more school in the summer doesn't really appeal to me, but I love this stuff, so I don't know.
She's addicted to school. You
I'm
guys don't
not.
let them lie to you.
There's a really good Facebook group. It's called Raw, Fed, and Nerdy. It's also
Owned
on
by
Google
our
as
resident nerd.
It's not owned by me, but it's a really good. They've got tons of educational files if you just want to start there and start reading, and it's very good.
That's not really nutrition, I guess. Yeah, no, I was going to say, well, anyways.
Dr. Connor Brady.
Dr. Connor. So there's books. There's definitely books that would help you. And even before you go pay for a course, you could buy Dr. Connor Brady's book, Feeding Dogs. You could also buy Dr. Becker and Rodney Habib's book, The Forever Dog. And those go into great detail about nutrition, eye-opener. Or you could take it one step further if you really want to see am I super interested in this enough to do a course? Watch the movie Pet Fooled. Not pet food, you guys, Pet Fooled. That is an eye-opening documentary about the pet food industry, and you might look at that and go, holy crap, I had no idea, and now I must know more. It will give you a good understanding of if you actually want to invest in a course. My dog is allergic to beef and chicken, maybe vet wants. No, we're...
Stay awake.
Yeah.
As far away as possible. Run if you can. Opposite direction.
So, you guys, a prescription food, and this is no slam at the vets. The vets don't make the food, they just sell the food. The big guys like the Mars Chocolate Bar and the Colgate Palmolive, who make our prescription pet foods, there is no medicine in those foods. They are not tested for any medicinal properties, and they're highly digestible. Now, here's my analogy for that. If I'm at the hospital because something is happening, I'm getting a surgery or whatever, what do they feed me in the hospital? Jell-O. Why? Because it's nourishing my body, because it's complete and balanced and it's the only thing I need to eat for my entire life? No. They give me Jell-O because it's highly digestible. So it gives me something to eat that will stay in and won't come out in a bad way. That's what prescription food is. It's highly digestible. It is not providing adequate nutrition. It is not nourishing a body. And if your animal is on a prescription diet, they shouldn't be for more than 3 months. So if your vet is looking at, I mean, the vets are always going to sell these foods because it's a line of business for them. Vets are not given extensive nutrition training. And the training that they do get is provided by the Hill Science and Royal Canins of the world. So it's biased training because it's provided by the food companies. This was something as a pet store owner that I did not want. I did not want to be trained by my food reps. And many pet stores open and they're like, I will learn about the products I carry from the guys who sell them to me. That, in my opinion, is biased training. So I wanted to learn independent of any food that we carried. So that is why we certified in pet nutrition, we certified in raw nutrition, and we're nutrition junkies. But we have independent training from any of the foods that we carry. I did not want to learn from my sales reps because every sales rep is going to tell me they've got the best food under the sun. And if I didn't know any better, how would I? Did you want to add something?
Yes.
Oh.
Really good option for people on hydrolyzed diets. Carnivore, really good. Easy to switch, very high digestibility, but still nutritious. So really good food for dogs that were concerned about multiple allergies. Also start keeping a diary of when your dog is reacting, because if it's environmental, you're going to notice it around the same time or same responses. So depends on that.
I feed rodents culled for snake food, so a whole guinea pig or a whole something once a week. Interesting. Buffet in a bowl, love it. We do too. There we go again. Thoughts on foods that add synthetic vitamins and minerals versus brands that do not. Origin. So the exact reason that we have Primal in the store versus Stella and Chewy's is because Stella and Chewy's uses synthetic vitamins where Primal uses natural. The reason we went that way is because synthetic vitamins are harder for the body to absorb than natural vitamins, which are easier for the body to absorb. We want to get the vitamins from the food. Kibble, we cannot get away from that. Doesn't matter how good the food is, we cannot get away from that in a kibble because the food is processed at such high heat. All of the nutrients is cooked out. So then we have to use what's called a premix to get the nutrients back in. So there will be synthetics in almost any kibble out there. Carnivore, if you heard me say before, is a whole food air-baked nugget. That means all of the nutrition, all of the vitamins and minerals, everything is coming from the food. They use no synthetics. That's why we love them too. But still can't decide between the Flora or the green one. I would say go with both. Like Zaner gets the Flora right now, but as soon as we get those green ones in store, he's trying those. I'm not sure what that means. Pet fooled. Clap, clap, clap. Yep, whoops, what have I done? Help. Olivia. What did I do? There we go. Technical, you guys.
Are you all good to go?
Yes. I just was trying not to be that.
Sorry.
Okay, what supplements would you recommend for seasonal allergies other than bee pollen, dog itches, and sneezes? Goat's milk can help with that as well, or as Ella speaks about all the time, her bovine colostrum. Or spirulina, you can try that for allergies as well.
We cannot see. They can only see.
Zesty Paws multivitamins I have never heard of. Wet food recommendations, I have just got 2 new babies and they came on Caesar. Wet food. No, we don't like Caesars. We like Tiki Cat. Sorry, Caesars for dog probably. Okay, so Open Farm makes a wonderful stew. They smell so good. You would ask me for a spoon if I could open it up and let you sniff it right here. Honest Kitchen also makes some really good stews and other wet options called Butcher's Block. If you want to take a freeze-dried raw and rehydrate it with a bone broth or a goat's milk, you can use that as a wet option as well. But Caesars we would not go for. So fussy with trying new foods. It's interesting, you guys. When our dogs are in their first 4 months of age, as brand new puppies, they are in what is referred to as a imprinting period. And the more variety that we can give them, the less likely it is that they will be picky and or develop intolerances or sensitivities. So variety for the new little furry guys in your house is key. And it will help prevent that pickiness by developing their palate sooner than later. You know what? Okay, so we're already doing colostrum and goat's milk still itching really bad from environmental allergies. Look at an FMT. Go to doggybiome.com, look at an FMT, because we don't want the furry guys suffering in any way. So if they are, and we don't know the cause and we've tried all these things, look at an FMT. I've noticed that the USA doesn't have horse meat available like the UK does. Horses are considered pets in Canada anyways, for the most part, and so it is frowned upon as a meat in a pet food in Canada. Opinions on Instinct Raw. Again, we chose Primal. What I didn't like about Instinct, I guess personally, was that Instinct was one of those kibbles that did we've got a raw coated kibble and then we added some freeze dried in. At the end of the day, you're paying an exaggerated price for a bag of mediocre kibble with good freeze dried. So when you look at that on paper, it looks good, but it's the freeze dried that's good, not the kibble. So you could likely do that yourself by buying a better kibble and just adding a freeze dried. So I didn't like the games that Instinct played. I'm honestly starting to wonder if it's a new food allergy, but my gut is saying seasonal, but I don't know. I say do the FMT. Vet wants to do allergy meds, but I'm really trying to avoid that. My dog is also raw fed. Absolutely do an FMT. Reach out to Doggy Biome, order your test kits, just to check. Like, this is something that I'm going to start doing with Zaner like almost annually, just to check his gut, because that's the best way that we can do it, is by getting the Doggy Biome test done, and it's a stool sample, so it doesn't hurt him at all, but I can verify that his gut is balanced. They have left me, you guys. It is that time where we are about to get busy. So I want to thank everybody for joining us this afternoon. If you missed any of this, we always post these. You can always go onto our Facebook page, of course. If you're on TikTok, once the live is over, it's gone. But it is always available on our Facebook page, and we do always also upload these to our YouTube channel. So thank you so much for spending some of your afternoon with us. We are here till 6 o'clock tonight. We are here 11 till 6 tomorrow. Closed on Sunday, back on Monday. And you guys have a fantastic weekend. If we don't see you in store, we will see you next time online. Bye-bye, guys.